went to a club in Stonebridge where we kind of had enemies there, and they tried to set me on fire, and it was just like crews versus crews shooting at each other. Yeah, so my life was really going downhill. So I was on bail for some things that I did in the previous month, and I cannot get in trouble anymore. If I get into trouble, then I will be going to jail, and I could be getting locked up. So my 18th birthday, I had crack and I had some heroin on me, and around 2,000, 2,500 pounds, and I managed to get arrested again. Um, when getting arrested, I knew I was on bail, so I thought this is it for me. I'm definitely getting locked up. I'm definitely going to jail. There was only one thing I can actually do, so I went to pray. Praying is not something I usually do, but when I'm in trouble, I would just pray. So in the start, I did kind of promise God, this is the last time getting arrested. I will serve you. I will, I will stop with the nonsense. I will stop selling drugs. Following next day was in court, um, and I remember shaking, being very scared because I never wanted to go to jail. I'd rather die than go to jail. It's like if I go to jail, my life is over. It's like there's nothing there for me in this life. So I really didn't want to get locked up. Anyway, so when it came to the judge giving the decision, what's going to happen to me, um, praise be to God that I just got a warning. I got a warning, so that was good. And so after court, I was really happy. It's unusual. It's very, very unusual. You don't get away with things like being on bail, then getting caught with 15 wraps of crack and heroin, and having quite a lot of money on you. Um, that's just a sign they know what you're doing. They know you're supplying. They know you're selling drugs, and to get away with it, that's very unusual. So there was no way I can go back to that life after having such a experience with God. There's no way. So the following day, I stopped selling drugs. I just stopped selling drugs. I kept to my word. I gave my line away that I was making money off. Um, everyone was surprised. Everyone thought, there's something dodgy about him. How does he, get away with a case like this? He must be a snitch. He must be snitching. He must be working with the police. He's giving them some information. But I didn't really care about all of that anyways. I was not going to touch the drugs. I had a friend that used to be in our crew, in our gang. He gave his life to God. He gave his life to God. So he invited me and my cousin to come to church. But I said, yeah, come, let's give it a go. So it was a Friday service. It was deliverance. Um, and then in this deliverance service, it was just like fascinated. I was blown away because you're seeing demons like manifest, demons talking through people and things like that. Just felt like I need to take it a bit more serious. This is my life as well. I'm seeing the devil still. I'm seeing the devil trying to kill people, destroy people through whatever they've been prayed against. Like when pastor starts praying for anger, spirit of anger come out, and then the demons start coming out, or spirit that's been troubling this person for their whole life. It was just an eye opener sort of thing. So I started to take things a bit more serious. One day I spoke to my pastor after the service. He's like, so tell me what's going on. So I told him my life story, told him what's going on. And he said, you have to make a decision on what you want to do. You have to start giving up on things. You've got to start dropping things. It's not going to be easy, but you do them slowly and slowly, and you make prayers and you continue to come to the meetings. God will bless. So there was a thing where we called a chain of prayer, 7 weeks. 7 weeks chain of prayer where you give a card and you come for 7 Fridays, and then you'll see some results every single week. So that seemed to be working good for me. As I started to go there a lot more, I became a lot more comfortable with my pastor. But on my journey, as I wanted to get serious with God, things were getting in the way now. There was things like getting involved with old enemies, being up a few times while going to church. Some of my friends were starting to die. You know, everyone's in fights every single week, and I just feel like it's up to me. I need to be there for them. It's just like that's kind of tough because I'm still in a crew. I'm still in a gang. I'm still in a gang, but I'm just attending church. I'm still a part of it. The only thing I've really given up is my the selling the drugs. Um, so it was very tricky, and I used to tell pastors, just say my life's getting worse ever since I've been coming to church. I used to come there sometimes with like I don't know black eyes, and that was unusual because I wouldn't be getting black eyes. I wouldn't be getting beaten up. It's only since going to church where it was just like I don't know what to do. So I'm what side to pick sort of thing. You know, if it is going to be with God or is it going to be vengeance? Go back onto the streets. Um, I'm just going to leave you like this. It's the lie of the devil. The devil wants to finish your life. If you leave today, you might not have tomorrow. You should be locked up. It's not by luck that you are here. He's got a very strong testimony, which I didn't know about at the time because he's come from Brazil and he came from, real gang stuff in Brazil. And he managed to get shot in the head. He got shot in the head, and the way he gave his life to God is because he was in a coma, and then I don't know, he had some. He said he had his conscience was there praying throughout the coma, praying to God, "I'll give my life to you if you make me survive." So he was just like, "Do you think you're bad? You still think you're bad? I can show you some things. Like I can show you my head. I can show you things that you've never seen in your life." And then it kind of just touched me, and I was just like, you know what, I'm not bad. So from that conversation, which I don't know, it just really touched me. It wasn't just him though, but it was like God. I think God was saying, I've had enough. Are you going to take this serious now? Or if you leave, your life is going to be the same as your friends. Your friends are, they're going to jail now. This is real life stuff. They are really going to jail. They are really, some of them are dead. And a lot of them, you can't look over your left shoulder or right shoulder. Everywhere you look, someone is after you. So um, I took it serious. I decided to take it serious. I took part of the chain of prayers. I started to sacrifice things slowly, um, bit by bit. Bad company, bad friends. Started to get them off my line. Started to not be around that area. Be around the flats that everyone used to hang around. Go to the park and meetups. Started to cut all that out. Um, started to, just pay attention to working as well. Rather get a job. Rather, I got a job for the first time in a long time because before I was just selling drugs. Started to focus on working legitly. My girlfriend that I had for 5 years, which was really toxic at the time, um, very toxic. I had to let go of her. That wasn't easy because she's been around in my whole life, the whole time, but she was so toxic. That was probably one of the reasons why I got into so much problems with the police. My life started to get better, better and better. I started to feel more peace. I started to feel love. I started to feel things I never felt before. I used to hear like voices. I used to always feel like something's following me around, and all that started to just go. So I wanted to give more. The more I saw of God, the more I wanted to have so much where didn't realize it, but there was times when everyone's going out and evangelizing. Now that's just something I thought I would never be doing. Um, but I'll start to enjoy it. I started to enjoy it. I started to like giving out like magazines, talking about the things of God, talking about my journey, which with God, why I come to church, just small things like that. And then all that grew. It just started to grow. I didn't realize it, but then I started to have a love for these things. Um, like for example, like evangelizing. I literally won't be able to sleep if I didn't hit a target of talking to so many people and how many people came to church. Um, my heart was completely changed. I never thought I'd be praying in a way where, I'm going off to the park to pray, just worshiping, bringing other youths into the house and just reading inspirational books and telling them the meaning of it. Um, yeah, so it was like God was doing works, wonders, and I was just very thankful at that time because I literally got another chance at life. If it was going to be in jail or was it going to be death, it was going to definitely be one of them. I never thought I'll make it past 18 growing up anyways. Never. It's just like I used to say to my friends all the time, I will never make it past 18. So I think that was the year where everything was meant to be over for me. So there was words going around in the Finsbury Park um, to the bishop. Bishop was asking about who these guys are from Shepherd's Bush, because we do things like we had the biggest youth group. We had the biggest youth group in Finsbury Park, and bear in mind that they have a huge capacity because it's the headquarters. While everyone's got 50 youths in the youth group, one will always be probably double there. So we'll have like 100 youths, and the church was just growing and growing with like older people and younger people. So Bishop was like, I would like to have a word with these two men from Shepherd's Bush, and then he wanted to find out the testimony, where I stand with God, and where do I see myself in the future, what I wanted to do. My answer was, I don't know, Bishop. I don't know. He's like, well, I'm always talking about you guys in the meetings and things like that, and we were wondering, like, how do you feel about doing the work of God? I was like, I don't know, but wherever God kind of sends me, I will go. And so I became a UBI, which is a trainee pastor. I was around 19 and a half. Started training for a while. It was like really intense. It was like day and night training. Honestly, to live in the church as well while training. During that training, we'll do things like intense evangelizing, intense, prayers, healing, casting out demons. Eventually, the time will come when I would be blessed. And Bishop said, I think you're ready to go. So the Holy Spirit is saying that you need to move and go to Birmingham Church. How do you feel about it? So I'm ready. Let's go. I think he did have his doubts about me. He said he doesn't feel like I was ready as of yet because my maturity levels was kind of it was kind of like really, I was very immature. But he said the Holy Spirit's telling me to let you go, so to send you there so you'll be a pastor there in Birmingham. So then I became an assistant pastor. So I was going to assist the bishop in prayers and deliverance in Hackney Church. And then I was attempting to, it was strong prayers, and then the demons start to manifest. Bishop said, go pray there, Stephen. And the girl was around 13 years of age. She was very small. And when I went to attempt, the demon just beat me up, basically. She threw me as soon as I tried to go next to the demon. She threw me across the room. I was like literally doing roly polies. So I got back up. I said, I'm not having this. I have the Spirit of God, born of God. This demon has to leave. That wasn't the case. It was war. She started ripping off my clothes. My top was all coming off, bit into my arm. I went to Bishop saying, help me, please. I can't. This is embarrassing. I can't cast out this demon. Bishop said, no, you're meant to be preparing to be a pastor now. It's like, I will not help you. If you get beaten up, you get beaten up. You're going to have to use your faith and your authority and cast out this demon. Eventually, after some time, after getting roughed up a bit, I managed to, get to that point where I used my faith, and that demon was cast out eventually. It caught me off guard because during prayer, when the demons started talking, then I realized, how like demons are so real, because the demon was saying my whole life story from the beginning, who I used to go out with, calling my friends by name. So it was just like really scary because I've never experienced stuff like that. I've seen it, but I've never experienced it for myself. So I did cast it out by the end of the meeting. But going back to the training room now, where I'm in front of all the other pastors, Bishop was like, tell us what happened to you. What happened today? So he was exposing me. It was like, oh, it was strong praise in church today here at Hackney. I got into a little fight with a demon. He's like, what happened to you? I was like, I got beaten up. And then he's like, tell us why you got beaten up. Do you even know why you got beaten up? He's like, what did I tell you to do before you went? He said, fast, pray, be obedient, prepare yourself, read the word. It's not a joke. From that day on, I started to get really serious with my faith. I have to. These demons, they know everything about your life. Like, you can't deceive yourself when you're doing the work of God. You can't make a mockery of God. You can't see it as a joke. It's real life. There's demons in this world, and they're out to, kill somebody. Not just a Bible reference. It's real life. And I learned that when I was um, doing strong deliverance but prayers for that little girl. So I said, I'm never going to be that person again. I said, I will not have an encounter like that again where I'm not able to cast out a demon or help someone. You know what I mean? So from that day on, I just became really into my Bible. I became, you know, like a prayer warrior. I will be praying very strong, not just making words, but I will anoint myself. I will make sure, that my life is blessed through fasting, through prayer, through, surrendering my life daily to God. I learned to be obedient. I learned to do the purposes or whatever's the spirit of the church. I'll kind of go with that. Fasting was really important. Fasting, a lot of fasting, a lot of purposes, such as waking up at 3 a.m. in the morning, 2 a.m., 5 a.m. just to make sure you're getting them prayers in. I went to the point where I backslided because